So I'm sticking with the USC Trojans with my lock and hopeful that they go ahead and win this game against Utah this Friday. And that bet will be correct.
So you're locking it that they're going to beat Utah then?
I am actually locking that Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman.
Oh, my goodness. That's a lock?
It's a lock. You can book it.
Welcome in to the Super Bowl podcast. This is episode number 2 live from the GCU recording studios. I'm Braden Dorman alongside me, Harper Hauk, and David Arnold. And we are super excited to bring you the second episode of this video podcast. First off, I think we all just want to say thank you to everybody that watched our first episode, watched our short clips on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It really meant a lot to us. We felt the support, and we're really excited to continue to provide content. I don't know if you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we get going.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool, the support that we've gotten after the first one. Just to be able to just talk sports, talk God, and just have people actually listen to us, take time out of their day to listen. That's really cool, and I just want to say I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to just the journey that wherever this goes. Really, I'm just excited.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We all have a ton of fun doing this, and we just want to keep the momentum rolling. So,
all right, with that being said, we're going to get into our first sports segment of the day, and it is going to be a draft. We are going to be drafting our favorite broadcasters. Really, it comes down to if there's a game on TV that we wanted to watch, who do we want calling that game? We're all going to draft 3 people. We're going to do a snake draft. I'm going to be the first one to go. Harper's going to go second. David's going to go third. And let's just set it clear here. David had the first decision. He wanted number 3 and 4.
Yep.
He picked number 2 and then 5, and then I'll get the 1st and 6th and 7th pick.
Yep.
So with that being said, a lot of pressure going with number 1 overall, but I got to go with my guy, my favorite guy, a guy I like to bring up a lot, and a guy who has a job that I would love. I'm going with Jim Nance.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a surprise to anybody, but Jim Nance, he calls all the best golf tournaments. He calls the Final Four in March Madness. He calls the best game on NFL on CBS. And the list just goes on. The guy has an illustrious career, an amazing voice, and he's an easy number 1 overall selection for me.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
That's perfect. I think that's exactly where I thought you were going there. And
yeah, same. I knew that was
he's the
coming.
GOAT. He's so good. Whatever he calls, it's a big-time moment when he's on the screen. So.
And he's a guy I needed on my team. I knew I wasn't going to get him all the way at 6.
Yeah.
I had to just get it out of the way.
Yeah,
And I know there's a lot of good options later on. So I'll let you guys get the next 4 picks here, so you guys enjoy those.
Yeah, of course. So for number 2 overall, I'm going with Chris Collinsworth, my boy. Just his energy and his voice, they're just so iconic. And to me, Sunday Night Football, NFL football wouldn't be the same without him. Him and Al Michaels together, they're just the GOATs. I have so much fun watching them, listening to them. So, yeah, I'm taking Chris at number 2.
No surprise there. I love me some Collinsworth for sure. I guess I'll take number 3 and 4. So with number 3, I'm going to stray away from football. I'm going to go with the NBA and Mike Breen.
Yeah.
And he is a NBA Finals, basically any big NBA game on TNT. He's calling it ESPN. And he has an iconic bang reference.
Yeah.
Bang!
James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Mike Breen, just my guy growing up, watching a lot of NBA, especially finals games. Iconic. Absolutely iconic.
I think all 3 of our guys immediately just have like those signature moments, like Jim Nance has the Tony, and
Go 5 wide here, Tony, on 3rd and 8.
then the Collinsworth. He's like, that might be the greatest catch
Yeah,
I've ever
yeah.
seen. And
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
then you got the bangs. So, I mean, those are 3 legends, and I'm excited to see what we got here in round 2.
That's right. And round 2, I'm going with Jim's counterpart, Tony Romo. And
Wow.
I'm just, he's already, he hasn't obviously had a whole lot of experience yet, but already he makes paint drying, watching paint dry fun to watch. He can make anything fun to watch. And just, I find myself just laughing so much watching the games. And I wanted to go in my booth somebody who brings the high energy and also somebody who can bring a little comedy in there. I'm going Tony Romo.
Hey, I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't put him on my list. I just feel like he's very early on in his career, but obviously I do enjoy him. So
He was on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stole him from you?
No, he was like a backup.
Yeah.
Okay, so for number 5 overall, you guys might laugh at this. I'm going with Bob Menery at number 5. So I'm taking this as my 3 favorite guys. Who would I want to listen to? And I just think Bob Menery's hilarious. I mean, I can watch all of his Instagram videos. I was watching some earlier today. And I would actually listen to his broadcast. He's just so funny, and he makes me laugh, and I want that when I'm watching sports. So,
wow, I didn't see that one
That's
coming.
way off the
that's
board.
my
there.
guy.
That's out of left field. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously entertaining, but
Yeah.
you left a lot of good names on the board, so appreciate it.
It's my guy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leaves me here, and I have so many good options here, and I'm gonna go with at number 6. I'm going with Gus Johnson. Are you kidding me?
Man.
I'm Gus Johnson. I mean, the guy is so electric. He could be calling. I mean, he could be calling lacrosse. He could be calling the biggest college football game of the week, like he usually does.
Yeah.
He's called the NFL. He does it all, and he does it all with some crazy energy. And there's not a guy on this list that we've said so far that I enjoy watching more, just because you never know what you're going to get from that guy. And some of the calls he's said have been quite hilarious.
Deep in the pocket, goes down the field for Smith. Oh, he caught it! Smith, touchdown, 85 yards, Iowa.
Absolutely iconic.
Oh, yeah.
College football. I mean, that doesn't get much better than him. And like even Ohio State, Michigan.
Yep,
this
just called
weekend.
that one.
Just
Yeah.
called that one.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to watch. I was laughing at a few things he already said. So, high energy guy, love it.
You got anything else before I go to number 7?
No? Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go with a legend here at number 7. And I'm going to go with John Madden.
Oh, he was on my list.
I'm going to go with John Madden. Never got to see him in person. Like, I never got to personally watch him, but some of the clips I've been able to see of him, it's clear that he made his mark on the game. I mean, he has a video game named after him. He really brought the first kind of funny comedic energy to the booth that the NFL had never seen. I feel like usually it was very serious up in the booth until he came around and really just brought that crazy energy. And obviously they just commemorated him quite a lot over Thanksgiving, and they had the decals on their helmets. I think it's a good time to go with John Madden. Rounds out my team of Jim Nantz, Gus Johnson, and John Madden.
Oh,
I think that's a great pick. I mean, I think you can make an argument that no one's changed the NFL as much as John Madden with his career, his coaching career, with the way he revolutionized sportscasting and his video game.
and
too.
literally Madden.
Everything.
Yeah, it's
So,
crazy. Love it. Great pick.
Yeah. Okay. So for number 8 overall, I'm going with someone super biased. I'm going with Rowdy Gaines, and he's the biggest swim commentator in the world. He's always on the Olympics, the NCAA championships, all the big national, international meets. And he just has so much energy and passion behind the mic.
And Caleb Dressel from the United States is going to win gold up there in lane 5. He did it! Yes, sir!
And this is coming from a swimmer. Swimming's not as fun to watch as football, basketball, baseball. But he does a really good job of making swimming almost as enjoyable as those other big names, those other big sports. So
Yep.
I'm taking Rowdy.
Olympic.
I would expect that from you anyways. So, I mean, I'm sure he was a big inspiration for you.
Yeah, he's awesome. So
Yeah, Olympic moments. Phelps and the 200 free relay is what I think about with his call. Awesome.
yeah.
All right, I guess I'm going to round it out here, boys.
Unless we want to go 4 rounds. You guys got? Do you have enough for one more, or you want to cap it off at 3?
I think 3 is good.
Let's do
Go
it.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got so many good names. I'm like,
I
man.
know, right? I'm still looking, and I think I'm going to go with the voice of college basketball, Dick Vitale.
There it is.
Very, I mean, I'm looking for iconic as my word for my guys, and Tony Romo will be there one day, and already is, in my opinion. But Dick Vitale, he's been around for forever. Everybody loves him. Every college fan knows
Oh yeah.
his voice. He's he says exactly what we're saying on the couch. He's just an awesome commentator who is just willing to say whatever, and I love that. He's just so loose in the booth and really just enjoys his job a ton. So I'm going to round out my squad with Dickie V.
I wanted that legend too, and it was between him and John Madden for me, so that's a really good pick.
You got to go Madden, though, I think.
Yeah, Madden. Yeah, that was a good one.
Well, any other honorable mentions you just want to throw out there? I mean, I've got so many guys. I feel like you got to throw them out there. I had Kevin Harlan, Kirk Herbstreit, Al Michaels, Vin Scully. Just a lot of really good names. I mean, we could do this forever, but that's a pretty fun segment. You guys got any more?
I got a sleeper. Eric Collins. You guys may not know who that is, but is the Charlotte Hornets announcer who gets up for games. You guys need to look him up if you don't know.
He's just for Charlotte?
Yeah, but that dude will scream into the mic when something happens. He's like, Miles Bridges. Like he does. Come diddly dee.
Plumlee. Here comes Rozier. He's got Miles. Oh! Yowza! Hum diddly dee!
You got to look him up. He's awesome. You guys would really enjoy some of his calls, but just definitely an honorable mention. Wanted to get his name in there.
Cool. All right, well, that was a great draft. We'll have you guys vote. Who has the best team on either the YouTube, and we'll also throw them on our Instagram.
Yep.
Next, before we get into our main topic of the day, let's go with our quick lock and bold picks here. Harper, can you give me your lock and your bold statement?
Yep. Okay, so for this week, my lock is that Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns are going to defeat Houston this upcoming Sunday. I think the entire Browns organization is going to rally behind Deshaun Watson coming back. Despite whatever you think about Deshaun Watson, the guy can ball, and I think he's a great quarterback. And then my bold statement is that unranked Michigan is going to take down number 19 Kentucky this upcoming Friday. So
Ooh, college basketball.
College basketball. I don't think Kentucky looks as good as they usually do this time of the year, and Big Ten schools are always hard to beat at home. So
Especially Michigan.
Yeah.
And I was also going to say, for your lock, of course the NFL lets Deshaun come back for this week, right? There's no mistake
scripted.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I guess I can go ahead and go into mine. So I'm sticking with the USC Trojans with my lock, and hopeful that they go ahead and win this game against Utah this Friday. And that bet will be correct.
So you're locking it that they're going to beat Utah then?
I am actually locking that Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman.
Oh, my goodness. That's a lock?
It's a lock. You can book it. Absolutely. This dude reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. He's an NFL quarterback playing in college. It's unbelievable the talent this guy has. And I don't know if you guys have watched a lot of him, but he's Houdini. He gets out of the pocket and just makes something out of nothing every play. It's a lock. It's over. But no matter what happens this weekend,
no way.
Caleb Williams is
He's
your
playing
Heisman.
in the Pac-12. That's maybe why.
Hey, let's not disrespect the
Just saying.
Pac-12.
Hey, and he's saucing up the Pac-12. So
because it's the Pac-12.
Hey,
you take as you will.
Whoa.
Take as you will.
SEC, Pac-12.
I think that's a very bold lock, but I'm glad you made it your lock. We have some live studio audience right now. They had some funny reactions there, but you can go to your bold statement here.
Okay, well, bold statement. I'm sticking with college football as well, and I'm going with Kansas State beating TCU this weekend.
Whoa.
I hope that happens.
And
yeah, you need that to happen, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really expect Tennessee to make the playoffs anymore, but I just think TCU is way overrated.
so the first game they played, Kansas State lost by 10. And I think for TCU, all the pressure is going to be on them this weekend. I mean, win and you're in. And what a moment that would be for the Horned Frogs to get that done. I think the pressure will get to them. We've been saying it all year that TCU is going to lose, and I think this is finally the spot it happens. Kansas State's run game is really solid, and if they get a lead early, watch out, TCU. I don't think they'll be able to come back from this one, and it's hard to beat a team twice. I got Kansas
It'll be
State.
at a neutral site too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I got Kansas State winning that one.
It'll be in Dallas, right? Don't they usually play the Big 12 championship there?
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AT&T.
Yeah.
All right, so big USC guy over here. If you guys don't remember, he already has USC making the college football playoff as one of his other bold statements.
Looking
so
good.
He is riding the USC wave right now. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
You can
All
lock
right,
it
I'll
in.
go with a quick lock. Mine is in college football. I think Georgia smacks LSU. And I'm not even by smack. I mean they are going to annihilate them. LSU, they were at number 5. They shouldn't have been at number 5. They just were because maybe they had a couple of good wins here and there. They beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, they beat Alabama. No, you're going to get smacked by Georgia, probably by 20-30 here this week in the SEC championship, and Georgia will be the number 1 seed. And LSU can play in some non-New Year's Six Bowl is my prediction here. So,
How many points?
I'm going to go with 27 being the point difference there.
27.
Yeah, Georgia's going to smack them. So lock that in, everybody.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. I mean,
Jeez.
man, I mean LSU, they're down bad right now.
Yep.
Down bad.
My bold statement, both New York NFL teams will miss the playoffs. Both the Jets
Oh.
and the Giants, who are both slightly comfortably in the playoffs right now, will not be come week 18. It's not going to be looking too good for them. That's all I got to say. The Giants' schedule coming up here is rough. They're facing a lot of their NFC East foes who have all been playing well this year.
Yeah.
The Jets also have to play a tough AFC East opponents. So, yeah, it was the year of New York. Nah, not by the end of the year. I think they're both gone. And I know that's a little bold for both of them to drop, but I just don't trust in whatever's going on in the QB situation in New York Jets, and I just don't trust Danny Dimes right now.
So you're saying the world isn't ending? That both New York teams are going to make the playoffs?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that's crazy at all because I think in the AFC East, both the Dolphins and the Bills are better than the Jets, maybe even the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they beat them last week, right? And then I also think the Cowboys and the Eagles are both better than the Giants.
Right.
So I don't think that's crazy at all. I kind
No.
of see that happening.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
good
It was a
take.
little too much. It wasn't a lock, but, I had to throw it in the bold statement category.
They both had awesome years, like considering where they were last year, but I just don't think it's enough for either one of them to have a playoff appearance.
We'll see.
I don't.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support, boys.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's get into the final segment of today, and we're going to be highlighting a certain athlete by the name of Stephen Curry. He is quite literally a top 5 most popular athlete in the world, probably over the last 5 to 10 years, and still is at the moment. He just won his 4th NBA title, and he, if people don't know, wears his faith on his sleeve, and he's a really cool athlete to look at in a deeper sense, more than just basketball. So we're going to
Yeah.
talk about him, and David, I think you
Yeah.
lead us right off.
Absolutely. So anybody who doesn't know about Stephen Curry, he played his college basketball at Davidson, and he was drafted 7th overall by the Golden State Warriors in the 2009 NBA draft. And really the rest is history from there. He's, like you said, a 4-time champion now, a 2-time MVP. He's a finals MVP, and he helped the Warriors break a 40-year drought in 2015 to win their first title. So basically, he's the Warriors franchise, massive piece for them. And some argue, and most argue, and me included, that Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter ever to grace an NBA floor. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What do you think?
I think the only person that comes close is Ray Allen. For me,
Yeah.
at least, 3-point shooter. Ray Allen's maybe the only guy that I could think of, but Curry is just on a whole nother level. He reinvented the game. He kind of made it tough for me to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
I do think the NBA is so different now, and there's just
Sure.
it's all analytics, and they're just throwing up as many threes as they can. And Steph is quite literally the reason that happened. So, I would absolutely say he's the best shooter of all time.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I think if you just look at his presence on the court, he has the confidence in game to shoot it anywhere, and that makes it so hard to defend him. And when you have to guard him and all of his other teammates, I mean, he's going to have so many shots a game, and I don't think there's a better shooter of all time than him.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
He's completely changed the game with his 3-point shooting. I mean, the whole NBA has absolutely been thrown upside down because of Steph Curry. And really, he's achieved everything possible in the NBA. Like, with his, all of his accolades, his championships, his MVPs. He's done it all. And when you really look deeper at Steph, he talks about a lot that there's something more than just those awards and those achievements that fuel him. And that is actually, he mentions Jesus. And Steph Curry has a really cool quote where he said, "I love that basketball gives me the opportunities to do good things for people and point them towards the man who died for our sins on the cross. I know I have a place in heaven waiting for me because of him, and that's something no earthly prize or trophy could ever top. There's more to me than just the jersey I wear, and that's Christ living inside of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that really shows when you get to the heart of Stephen Curry, it's not about his performance on the floor. It's all about his relationship with Jesus Christ. And really that's something ultimately that's just bigger than the game of basketball. And Curry's doing this for a bigger reason than just stats.
Yeah.
He's doing it to share the gospel. And he shared it in a multitude of ways. He's done Bible studies with his team, led Bible studies. He writes Bible verses on his shoe. Philippians 4:13 is a big one. And he even points up to the sky after every made basket, just trying to witness and tell somebody of the love that Jesus has for them.
He even has a yellow wristband that he wears every game. You'll see it if you watch a game that says, "In Jesus' name I play," which is pretty cool. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Super cool.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's somebody who sees the bigger picture. He sees that he was put in this spot for a reason.
Absolutely.
And his main goal is telling people that Jesus saves, and he's not ashamed of it. And he's someone who really just does wear his faith on his sleeve. And this really just kind of answers the call that Jesus gives us in the Great Commission. In Matthew 28:19-20, Jesus says, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." And really, as Christians, we all have different backgrounds. We all have different paths, different stories. But we're called, all of us have the same calling to go and share the gospel however God calls us to do it. And Curry has really took an emphasis on basketball as a way to do that.
Yeah. I would like to say that I think it's really cool to look at the contrast between him and the rest of the NBA. The league is so focused on maximizing your own glory, your legacy, even like paychecks and the resources they gain. And then you see Curry, and regardless of all the things he's achieved in the sport and in this world, where his identity lays. It's in his relationship with Christ. And I just think that's super cool that regardless of all the things that he's achieved, he stayed true to who he is.
I mean, we're always going to be talking how we feel on this podcast, and I do think a lot of people would disagree with me, but I even kind of mentioned that the NBA has become almost unwatchable for me. But I will say, if I am going to watch it, I'm going to watch Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I do agree that God is not on the forefront of anything the NBA wants to elevate. And the fact that Stephen is one of the biggest faces, if not the biggest face in basketball, with LeBron probably, and the fact that he has faith as really the most important thing in his life is cool, that he is not afraid and that he is so good that his platform is unshakable. And I do think that is something the game needs, and hopefully it can get more of as long as Steph is in the league.
Absolutely. And even like as a basketball player growing up, just mimicking, I found myself mimicking Steph in a lot of the things I was doing. He's somebody I really look up to while watching, and even disliked at one point because he was too good, it seemed like. But no, I mean, like, on the floor, like even when I'm playing, I would chew my mouthpiece like he does, and if I would do these things without knowing what they mean. But Steph has a way of planting that seed in people, and kids look up to him, and
countless kids look up to him.
And he, like you said, Dorman is the face or one of the faces of the NBA, and that's special that he's using that platform to glorify Jesus. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I would next say it's cool. His story is cool because he was under recruited.
Yeah,
he was clearly super talented, but they said he was undersized, and he ended up going to a small school called Davidson, and now that is becoming a bigger program, mid-major, but he didn't go to the Duke, he didn't go to the Kentucky. He wanted to, but he was under recruited, and he still made a name for himself, went off in March Madness, and has got himself all the way to this point. And I think it's for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
good things happen to good people, and I do think it's pretty crazy how a small town kid that played at Davidson is now at this level and is leading Bible studies for a 4-time champion
Sure.
team that's really stuck together. And that's another point I want to make is there's a core of guys on that team that have been together since day one, and that's for a reason as well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, those are really the three that have stuck together through it all. If you don't have that chemistry, you don't have that off the court chemistry that they clearly have, you don't stick around that long, especially in a league like the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think that is big in part to Steph.
Yeah, and there's something to be said of how unbeatable they were at times, and you could
Dominant.
tell they weren't just people who would play basketball and then leave, you know, and just kind of go their own way. Like there was something deeper that connected them. You could just tell by the way they played the game, and you know, there's clearly something bigger there, and teams couldn't figure it out. I mean, the Warriors won 3 championships in 4 years. I mean, they are on top of the world still,
Sure.
as they just won the last one. So clearly they have something going on in Golden State that's more than just basketball, and that's carrying them to on the court success, but also off the court.
Yeah, and Steph's been really open about how the ones around him, his family, his friends, his teammates, are the ones that keep him grounded. They serve as his support system where he can get his spiritual community, support, accountability. They pour into him just as much as they pour into him. So, yeah.
And I think a cool thing to talk about in this instance is spiritual gifts. And I know basketball isn't necessarily a spiritual gift, but it's a gift from God that allows him to have this platform to make a difference and to continue to grow God's kingdom each and every day. And what better generation than the younger generation to influence? And he has the younger generation in the palm of his hand, you know? So he has so much power, and what a great player to use this platform for God. And going on with spiritual gifts, I think they're so important. We've talked about them in our own Bible study before. Understanding your own spiritual gifts are so important. Understanding that I'm good at this, so let's use what I'm good at for a greater good.
Yeah.
And then also telling your friends, I think you're super talented at this, and I think this is something God wants you to use. That's just super healthy communication between friends, between people in Bible studies, and something that's just going to make our world a better place.
There's not enough of it in our world today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just amazing how God will place something in your life that maybe, I mean, growing up for myself, just he placed things in my life in areas where I just wonder, I'm like, why is this, why am I built this way?
Right.
You know? And the fact that he just works out everything. He knows everything in advance. He formed you exactly the way that you're made for a reason. And it's to glorify him, you know, and what you do. And whatever it is. And I think a common misconception is like that only pastors or people in the church can glorify God with their job. But, I mean, when you look at Curry, you look at Tua like we talked about last time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, God can use anything that you do to glorify him. And that's just really something that is just really special.
Yeah, building off that point, I think it's really important to remember that God has a purpose and mission for each and every one of us. And it's far greater than the one we could ever come up with on our own. If you're pursuing your own passions, your own interest, it's easy to get caught up in those. But through a relationship with Christ, you can discover and develop the plan he has for you, the purpose he has for you. And like I said, it's far greater than the one you could ever come up with on your own.
I think Romans 12:6 puts it pretty well. It says, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. And that basically says, in stone, we have gifts. And maybe you don't know what it is yet. Maybe you do, and there's still another one out there that you haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
God's going to put you on the path to get there, to that understanding of this is what I'm on earth to do. I mean, we're on earth for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, we're hopefully all going to be going to heaven someday, and that's going to be amazing. But we're on earth for a reason, and we're on earth to grow the population in heaven. So whatever your gift is, how can you use it better to bring more people to that heavenly place?
Yeah, and I think it's in Matthew, one of the Gospels, talks about how the workers are few and the harvest is plentiful.
Plentiful, yeah.
You know, and I think it's because a lot of people don't necessarily use their gifts, and I didn't growing up. I was like, I don't even know why I have this stuff, you know. And the first step is recognizing, okay, hey, I have this for a reason, you know. God gave me this for a purpose, and really, from there, just talking to him about it and just having communication with him, and he'll lead you exactly to where you need to go. And that's a promise that he led his disciples everywhere they were supposed to go. He's led everyone in the history of the Bible where they were supposed to go, and he's not going to stop with you.
Yeah, and through a relationship with him, you can find out who you really are. You don't have to act like someone you aren't. You can really become who God created you to be. And it's important to remember that God wouldn't have created you if there was already another version of you on earth. So he created you the way that he did for a reason. And through a relationship with him, you can find out what your real purpose is.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's our Steph Curry talk. And we even delved into a couple other really cool topics, but that's our podcast right there. That's bringing sports and faith together and showing how they really do intertwine each and every day. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode number 2. We're just getting started here on the Super Bowl podcast.
Keep them coming.
For David Arnold, Harper Hauk, our technical director, Anthony Martinez, and we even have our technical assistant, Braden Hansen, in the audience today. I'm Braden Dorman. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in 2 weeks.